Hello and welcome to the webinar. My name is Dr. Tanya of MAXLIFE, and I am excited to share the MAXLIFE Reset with you. So if you're suffering from any of the following, you might be a good candidate for this program. Anything from insomnia, fatigue, allergies, neurological disorders, autoimmunity, digestive issues, hormone issues, and as you can see, there are quite a few things on the screen. So if you suffer from any of this stuff, you're definitely a good candidate for this program, because what's happening is it means your digestive system needs a little love and your gut needs a little help. So what are some statistics of the American population? We have 1 out of 2 Americans that are suffering from chronic disease. We have chronic disease, which is responsible for 7 out of 10 deaths per year in the US. 84% of healthcare money goes towards chronic disease. 2/3 of Americans are obese. Autoimmune diseases have tripled over the last 50 years. Over 50% of Americans take medications, and these are pre-pandemic numbers. Due to the stress and due to the sedentary lifestyles and due to the increased use of chemicals, many of the researchers and doctors are anticipating, unfortunately, a significant increase in these statistics. Now, hopefully you're not suffering for anything or have any diagnoses that you're dealing with, but regardless where you are, there's a consolation in being sick or moving away from health. And that is the possibility that you may recover to a better state than you were ever in before. It's a great quote from Henry David Thoreau. And it is always my goal to help you discover health and rediscover life and move back towards health. So let's start with the wellness lifestyle pyramid. This is a really great indicator, and this is what I use to teach because it breaks it down really well. So we have the little dotted line there, and below the line are the things that we do as a part of our daily lifestyle that move us towards health. At the base of everything is eating right. You are what you eat, but more importantly, you are what you digest and what you absorb. Next up from that is exercise. If you don't move your body, actually what happens is when we create more fat cells, fat is estrogenic, and it actually slows down your metabolism and it creates hormone imbalances. For example, having extra fat stores, especially in the belly area, increases estrogen, and in men, it can decrease testosterone, and in women, it creates an imbalance in progesterone and some of the other hormones that we have. Not to mention the fact that strengthening muscle, it's great for the bones, it's great for the aging, et cetera, and also calorie burning and keeping your metabolism fit. Next up is rest and managing stress. Sleep is a big issue for a lot of people, and managing stress has definitely been a little bit more of a challenge over the last year. Reducing toxic load, we're going to get into that a little bit more, but we have the power to control what we bring into our homes and what we put on our skin and into our mouths. You don't really have the power to control what's in your air. So I like to recommend that we start small and with our spaces and our personal products. Now, above the line is healthcare. So informed healthcare is when you have informed self-care is when you have something maybe a little bit going on or something's not feeling quite right, and you say, I have to start working out, or I want to try some essential oils or herbs or vitamins. And if whatever it is progresses, that's when you would go ahead and you would seek proactive medical care from your favorite chiropractor, acupuncturist, or medical doctor. I personally start with the holistic, and if needed, then I resort to the pharmaceutical, even over the counter. So what are the exposure pathways when we're cleansing? In other words, how do we get toxins into us? Well, we inhale them, we eat them and swallow them and digest them, and also we put them on our skin, which is the largest organ, whether it be hair care, whether it be foot cream, whether it be makeup, whether it be deodorant, whatever it is, your skin absorbs it. So the first way to reset your system is to reduce toxic load. And how do you do that? Well, you avoid toxic exposure. Now, toxic load, as I said, is all around us. We have it in the form of pathogens, which are bacteria, viruses, parasites, fungus, all different kinds of things. And we're inundated all day long from stuff that we put on our skin, stuff that's in our food, etc. Now, mind you, a lot of the pathogens, we've obviously been speaking of one specific pathogen over the last year, but there are some that are toxic to us, but there are a ton, we'll discuss that in a little while, that are beneficial to us and actually help to support and make our immune system stronger. The second aspect of toxic load is chemicals, and the third is radiation. Now, toxic chemical exposure, again, as we stated before, we can inhale it. It comes from the air, we can inhale it, gets on our skin, comes in our water, which also we ingest and we also swim in. Food, which obviously we ingest, and soil, which we can ingest, we can inhale and get in contact with our skin, your pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, lawn chemicals. You think of dry cleaning chemicals, chemicals in makeup and hair stuff, and just products that we use on a regular basis, including cooking, like Teflon pans, any chemicals that were used on the food that you're eating. Okay, so it's a lot of different levels there. Everyone in the world has been exposed to levels of toxins in the body. We are exposed to more toxins in one day than our great-grandparents were in their entire lives. Think about that. Every organism on the planet has detectable Teflon, again, that nonstick stuff from the pans, 280 chemicals detected in umbilical cord blood of newborns, including pesticides, consumer product ingredients like plastic, and waste materials from burning coal, gasoline, and garbage. So our kids are being born with a ton of toxins in them. 180 out of those 287 chemicals detected cause cancer. 217 are neurotoxic to the brain and the nervous system, meaning they're really bad. And 208 of them cause birth defects or abnormal development. Some of the chemicals that we find commonly in people, including you and I, are flame retardants, Teflon, plastics in the form of BPA, mercury, glyphosate are just a few. And also, as a side note, the air inside our homes is 5 times more polluted than it is outside. So we really want to check out what we're bringing in. So toxic chemicals found in skincare. When I was in school, we basically learned 40 fat female was the population that was dealing with thyroid issues because they had more chemical exposure. Unfortunately, what we're finding and what I've been finding in practice is it's not just relegated to 40 fat female. We're finding younger men and women of all ages that are starting to have toxicities from chemicals, not only from environments, but also from some of the scented products, the fragrance products that they're using, from shampoo to makeup to skincare to shave cream, beard oil, all that stuff. Excuse me. The average woman puts 515 chemicals on her skin every day as a part of her normal beauty routine. And if you think you're probably not using that much, each item you use has like 20 chemicals in it. So good time to read the labels. Europe has over 1,300 chemicals that are banned. We have 8, which means that those 1,292 chemicals that they ban, we are using. And side note, the US fragrance industry is not regulated. There's a really great movie called Stink, put together. It's a documentary by a guy from New Jersey. And it's on the fragrance and the chemical industry. And he did some research after his wife died with breast cancer. And I highly recommend you checking it out. I believe it is on Netflix, and it is worth the watch. If you have kids, especially if you have daughters, please watch it with them, but you definitely need to check it out. Anyway, back to the webinar. As for radiation, the other item I mentioned, we have many sources of radiation. Now, generally, when we say radiation, we think of X-rays. But a lot of our products, like our cell phones, have some radiation. Our television sets give off radiation. Fossil fuels, air travel, whenever you're in the airport, anything that glows, like your digital clocks and all that stuff. Building materials, nuclear fuel cycles, and And other forms of radiation, we of course have the sun, and there's certain gases that release in the earth that give off radiation, as well as some of the testing. If you've had mammograms or CT scans or x-rays, you know, they don't just shine the light on you and the remnant goes away. Your skin actually absorbs it, and you have some remnants in on a cellular level. So what are some of the things that we can do for those toxins in our environment? Well, from a first thing, from a food perspective, we can choose organic. Get the highest quality you can. There's a list which you can Google, but I will also include with this program. From EWG, it's the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. It's a list of fruits and vegetables that you can get away with eating. It's a list of fruits and vegetables that you want to choose organic because they're grown in a more dirty atmosphere. For example, they're used more pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, and also the cleaner ones that you can get away with not choosing organic. Next, you can wash your produce with a few drops of lemon oil. For example, put some water in a basin, put a couple drops of lemon oil in, and the lemon oil will actually break down the petrochemicals and some of the items that the fruit absorbs, or some of the things like the wax on the cucumbers and some of the toxins that were sprayed on the vegetables or fruits before they were harvested. The other thing you can do is you can just clean your air and make your air smell nice. Instead of using a scented candle or using one of those stinky plugins, you can diffuse some essential oils in your room, and you can kind of control the uplifting or the relaxing. And you can also make some spray bottles and also put it into the laundry so you can bypass some of that fragrant laden stuff that's going to actually create some issues down the line. Next way to reduce our toxic load exposure is to check the products that you're using on a daily basis. What is your skin care looking like? What is your hair care looking like? Toothpaste, fluoride is not one of my favorite things. There's a lot of neurotoxic properties of fluoride, and also laundry detergent and cleaning supplies. That's how we get a lot of chemicals in our environment, especially this past year. We've been cleaning the heck out of everything, and nobody's looking at the labels of the stuff that they're using other than it's antiviral and it kills bugs, right? But you know, your body is filled with viruses and bacteria that are beneficial to you. And I'm pretty sure that the cleaning stuff is not going to differentiate between the good stuff and the bad stuff. So second way to reduce your toxic load is to support defensive functions. The gastrointestinal tract has some built-in defensive functions, one of which is your stomach acid. And your stomach acid should be at a pH of 1.3. And why that is when you eat, there's a good possibility that something that you eat has maybe a fungus on it, or a parasite, microscopic, you can't see it, or a bacteria or a virus. And when you have that great stomach acid, it will kill those toxins so they don't get into your digestive system. The other part of that is, of course, to break down the food into small bits so you can absorb it. Digestion does begin in the mouth, so make sure you chew your food, because then your food can get more efficiently coated with saliva. 70% of your body's digestive system does occur in the gut. So it is really important what you eat and chewing your food. And as a side note, I would refrain from drinking water while you are eating, because what that does is it dilutes the stomach acid and it can affect your digestion. So first stage of our cleanse for the reset is to nourish and fortify. And I recommend these three products. We have the Alpha CRS, the Microplex VMZ, and the E Omega. This is called our Lifelong Vitality 3-pack. It is antioxidant, liver, and brain support. It's a wonderful whole food nutrient complex for efficiency and detoxification. And of course includes omega-3 complex for brain support. Now, most people are significantly malnourished, and your body definitely works better when you have the proper vitamins and minerals. And we are definitely not getting enough from our food. Even if you're eating all grass-fed, farm-raised, organic, you're definitely in need of supplements to fill the nutritional gaps in your diet. So this healthy foundation is for fortification. It helps to protect and detoxify. It also helps with energy production, because not only is your food building blocks, it's also for energy. And if you're not getting all those pieces, your energy will suffer. The other thing is liver support and digestive support. It helps to neutralize free radicals, which cause deterioration, or as we say, rust in the body. And we don't want anybody rusting in the process. And it also helps to calm an excessive inflammatory response. For example, if you're exposed to something, you're exposed to a bug or a pathogen or a toxin, you should have an inflammatory response. But somebody who has some deficiencies, they could have too much of an inflammatory response or not enough. There's definitely a level that's normal and going to be the most efficient for your body to handle the job. The third part of reducing toxic load is to support elimination functions. What does that mean? We like to talk about the different chimneys or the pathways. Our primary pathway is the intestinal tract, meaning are you pooping? And the urinary system, are you peeing? So for the intestinal tract, most people are accustomed to clearing their bowels a few times a week. You really need to go every day, at least once. Maybe not like a dog where every time you eat, you have to poop, but you should be going at least once a day, if not twice. And most of the clients that I've worked with that are consuming the standard American diet, they are not moving their bowels on a daily basis. And no, it is not normal to do it 2 to 3 times a week, because that's the way your body works. That means there's some kind of a deficiency somewhere. The other thing is clearing your urinary tract. Are you drinking enough water? Most people are dehydrated. If you're drinking 6 cups of water a day and 3 cups of water, 6 cups of coffee a day and 3 cups of water, you need to subtract every cup of water for every cup of coffee. They negate each other, okay? So you need to drink half of your body weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 120 pounds, you need to drink 60 ounces of water a day. If you drink 60 ounces of water and 16 cups of ounces of coffee, I hope you're not drinking 16 cups, but if you drink 16 ounces of coffee, you need to drink an extra 16 ounces of water. Your urine should be pale yellow. It should be almost clear. It should not be dark yellow. So little side note there. And if you're not pooping and if you're not peeing the toxins out, it's going to come out of, you have to exhale them out, or it's going to come out of your skin in the form of eczema. It's going to come out as a rash. It's going to come out as acne. You see our young people going through puberty, oftentimes they have acne. It's not just hormones. It's because they're not drinking enough water and they're eating stuff that they shouldn't be, and they're not going to the bathroom, so it's coming out of their skin. So those are the elimination pathways. And what we're going to do to ensure that they're functioning during this program is we are going to resume the proper flow of the intestinal tract through supportive supplements, proper flow of the urinary tract, and also proper liver function, and prevent the overuse of secondary chimneys. You shouldn't be having stuff coming out of your skin. It should be coming out the primary chimney channels. So a little shot of your gastrointestinal tract here. We have in the picture on the left, we have villi, which look like fingers. That is actually Latin for fingers. And what that does, what the villi do, is they move your poop through your intestines. And while they're doing that, you can see in the middle and on the right, they're the epithelial cells where the nutrients get absorbed into the bloodstream. Now, what can happen in certain people if you have an exposure to a chemical or a food item that you're sensitive to, like a lot of people are sensitive to dairy or gluten, it can create a situation called leaky gut, where you have a gap or a tear in the lining. It's not an actual tear, but there becomes an opening in the lining, and some of the stuff that you're supposed to be pooping out gets released into the body. And those items, those toxins can settle on the joints. They can go to your brain. They can go to different organs, and they can create an inflammatory response. That's something that we'll cover a little bit later in the program if you're involved. And so it's really important to get the GI tract back on balance. And that is one of the main goals of this program. We want to go back to homeostasis or balance in your digestive system and your gastrointestinal tract. So this is just a snapshot of one of your detoxification cycles in your body. We're not going to review it, but this is how your body detoxifies and creates energy. So it's actually, your body's actually a very, very complex machine. And it's not as simple as just eating a sandwich and, you know, what happens to your food. This is what happens with it. And you have different areas where you see like a little Mg or a B12. These are the nutrients. This is why having a supplemental vitamin as well as having some of these other products is really important, because these cycles won't happen if you don't have the proper nutrition. So back to the pathway of elimination. We have the liver. And by the way, everything you eat, everything you drink, and everything you inhale and put on your skin has to go through the liver to be processed. It is like the ultimate sorting machine. And your liver is going to decide, okay, this stuff right here we can use. We're going to put it down this chute. This is going to be solid waste, so we're going to put it towards the colon. This is going to be liquid waste. We're going to put it towards the kidneys. And this is a toxin over here. We're going to dump that. And when your liver gets overloaded, what happens? It stores toxins in fat cells. So it says, okay, I can't handle this right now. It's kind of like the closet where you have somebody coming over to your house, instead of cleaning and putting it away properly, you kind of shove everything in a drawer or a closet. That's how the liver uses the toxins in fat cells when it gets a little bit bogged down. And the problem is it doesn't always go back and clear out the closets. So it's springtime. It's the perfect time to do it. So what we're going to do is to prepare the cleansing process, we're going to use these products. First, we're going to use a lemon essential oil. And lemon, aside from tasting good, and citrus oils are amazing for uplifting, it's really great for digesting. It's really great for hydration. I find especially people that really aren't big water drinkers will drink more water if it tastes good. And lemon makes it taste good. Lemon also has, the lemon oil is very concentrated. So it has amazing detoxification and immune support properties, especially for petrochemicals that, yes, we do store in our bodies as well, in our fat cells. So the lemon oil will actually much more efficiently than just drinking water, break down those petrochemicals and pull them out of the fat cells to detoxify. So you can pee them out. It also has great metabolic support. And Terrazyme, which is the next supplement, which supports healthy digestion and metabolic processes. Again, your digestion starts in your mouth with chewing your food, and the Terrazyme assists in the breaking down of the food. It contains an anti-gluten enzyme blend. So if you are gluten sensitive, or you don't know if you're gluten sensitive, maybe you get stomach aches or indigestion. It also it has increased lactase, which is an enzyme needed to break down the lactose in dairy products. Which also can cause intestinal discomfort and gas in some cases. Zendocrine is the other product we're going to be using, which is for the healthy cleansing of liver, kidneys, colon, lungs, and skin. It supports organ capacity to provide protecting, cleansing, and filtering. Meaning it carries the stuff out. It binds to stuff and helps to carry it out. Liver, kidney, colon capacity to rid body of stored toxic waste products. Remember when I talked about those fingers, the villi? A lot of times they get a lot of stuff stuck into them. The Zendocrine capsules has roughage and binders in it, and it grabs onto that stuff and pulls it out, because what we want is we want to get that intestine moving the crap out, okay? And it also is comprised of a whole food plant herbal extract formula. It's super gentle. It's not like a laxative where you're going to be like, oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom right now. Okay, so don't worry about that. Zendocrine soft gels. This is similar name as Zendocrine, but it's actually a different product. This is for healthy cleansing of liver, kidneys, and the endocrine detoxification system. It helps to cleanse the body of toxins and free radicals. And it's got a nice mix of tangerine, juniper berry, cilantro, geranium, and rosemary. This is great for toxins, including petrochemicals and heavy metals. It's really good. Next phase is the cleanse, renew, and restart phase. So we start with the GX Assist, which is the initial part of the gut cleanse. And it really is amazing for supporting the body during the elimination of the yeast process. And this is 10 days of the cycle. It supports a healthy digestive environment. So it's what it's doing, it's kind of cleaning out the closets. And it is a proprietary blend of essential oils, caprylic acid, that provides a natural cleanse for a healthy digestive system. And this is capsules, but it also has an essential oil mixes in it, great for parasite, yeast type things, bacteria and fungus and viruses. DDR Prime protects and supports. This is a product that was added to the system 2 or 3 years ago. It supports healthy and cellular integrity, protects body and cells from oxidative stress. It promotes overall cellular health, supports health of brain and nervous system. I'd say that's super important. And it also aids in a healthy immune response. What that means is when you have cells, and if there's something off with they're reproducing, for example, a healthy cell has a life. It matures, it reproduces, and then it dies. What happens a lot of times in our body based on maybe a toxic chemical, a genetic SNP of some sort, or maybe some kind of a reaction that's not working properly, an immature cell will multiply. And when that cell continues to multiply and starts to create its own blood supply, it can then start to stress the organ or the system and create the need for a greater, more severe need for medical intervention. What the DDR Prime does, it actually goes in and invites those immature cells, instead of reproducing, it invites them to explode and get rid of themselves. So this is really important for balancing out cellular health in the body. And it's very efficient. It's a great product. So the next phase would be looking at the intestinal microflora, because the first products that we went through were basically for stabilizing the body, reestablishing nutrient density in the body, getting the vitamins and minerals back in, getting those chimneys moving so your body, it starts to flow, the intestines are moving, we're kind of cleaning out the closets. We're getting some of the bacteria and some of the pathogens out of the digestive system that are kind of stuck in there with the GX Assist. And the next part is looking at the intestinal microflora. These are the friendly bacteria and help with digestion, which prevent the growth of harmful pathogens. The microflora, or you've probably heard the term microbiome, these are the good things that keep everything balanced in our body. They help your digestion. They prevent the harmful stuff from getting out of hand. They keep them in check. And they also train the endothelial, which those are the cells in the intestines along the fingers. They train the endothelial cells to have a proper immune response, to say, hey, don't respond too much, don't respond too little. This is how much we have to respond. And what are some of the threats of the microflora? Microflora, again, is really important. It modulates your immune system. Physical stressors, chemicals and toxins, unhealthy diet, traveler's exposure. For example, if you go to Mexico and drink the water, or go to India and get stung by a mosquito, or heck, go to a local river and just drink out of the river, you could be getting some kind of a parasite. But the biggest stress, other than the first 3 in the last year, there's definitely been some increase there. But generally speaking, the biggest stress is antibiotics, because antibiotics don't differentiate between the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. They just kill everything. So what are some signs of compromised microflora? Digestive discomfort. You could have stomach aches, gas, bloating, constipation, or you could have irritable bowel, where it goes from diarrhea to constipation, or not going for a few days. It could be sensitivities to food and to scents and all kinds of different things, your skin sensitivities, chronic GI challenges, stuff that just won't go away, fatigue, no energy, because if you're not digesting your food and absorbing it, you're not getting any nutrients. You're probably getting dehydrated. You're not being fed properly, so you're going to get worn down. And underactive immunity, where everything just gets muted because everything's worn out. So what do? We look and we look at the visible organs in this picture, and then we see the invisible microbiome. it controls your entire body. So the complete human with the healthy functioning body has a balance of the microbiome as well as the organs. So what we need to do is we need to bring in some PB assist, and that helps to balance out the probiotics in your gut. And again, those help to modulate those help to modulate the bacteria in your gut and keep it healthy. So the really cool thing about this particular product is, if you can see on the right, it's a capsule, and it's actually a capsule within a capsule, and it contains pre and probiotics in one capsule. You know, many people have been talking about probiotics for years, and prebiotics have also, you know, started to become a little bit more popular. But this product this is actually a groundbreaking product. This came out years ago, and it has 6 billion, with a B, colony forming units per capsule. It is timed release, and it is in a vegetable capsule. And the next picture, we're going to see the big outer, if you see the clear outer capsule, that contains fructo-oligosaccharides. And these are short chain dietary fiber. And it is a growing medium for prebiotics. In other words, it's food for the prebiotics. So it keeps the prebiotics fed while it's going into your digestive system, and it supports the friendly bacteria. The inside capsule, the green one, is formulated to be digested in your intestine, because when you swallow a pill, it gets broken down in your stomach or in the stomach acid, provided you have enough stomach acid. And like 80% of whatever you have in that capsule is killed by the stomach acid. But the way this particular product is developed, the first part gets broken down in the stomach, and the second part gets broken down in the intestines where you need it. So you have you actually have 6 types of bacteria, 6 types of probiotics. They are bacteria, but they're good bacteria. For the upper GI, you have the lactobacillus, which is the acidophilus, lactis, salivarius, and casi. And in the lower GI, you have the bifidobacterium, bifidum and longum. And what they'll do is they will feed the good bacteria in the upper and the lower GI, which makes for a happy gut. So to just kind of bring everything together, this is the pathway of elimination to cleanse, renew, and restart, and also reducing the toxic load inside your body in a natural, very gentle way. So this is the cornerstone of the MAXLIFE RESET program. It is a 30-day renewal. As you can see on here, this is the protocol, the process. We're going to be using the different supplements. We take the Terrazyme, Zendocrine, and Lifelong Vitality the entire 30 days. And then we come in with the GX Assist, and then we come in with the PB Assist and the other products at different times to support the different stages of detoxification. And we are going to be starting on March 15th. So give us a call or send us an email to let us know if you're interested. Commit to yourself. It is springtime. It has been a challenging year, to say the least. Most of us have increased our toxic load significantly, especially with the use of hand sanitizers and cleaners, and the stuff that we're getting on our skin, and just some of the stressors and the sedentary lifestyle. It's been a bit of a different year. So I'm looking at this as a reset, not only to kind of clear out, but also reset, do some mindset and lifestyle changes just to get ourselves back on track. I'm going to be including some health tips with this and recipes. I do have a Facebook page, a private Facebook page, which I know some of you don't have Facebook pages, which is fine, because we're also going to do an email campaign with it. I have shopping lists and just the basic things that you'll need to kind of incorporate this into your lifestyle. We'll do it easily and we'll make it fun. But most of all, I want you to be able to reset your health and get back to where you want to be, because a lot of us have been, myself included, a lot of us have been feeling fatigued and a little bit off, and maybe the mood's up and down, and not sleeping so well, and digestion's a little off, and hormones are a little off, and the list goes on. But there's no better day to start, and there's no better person to help than yourself. So Please feel free to reach out with questions. My email is included in this, as well as my phone number. And I look forward to seeing you in the program and in the office. So be well. And as always, helping you discover health and rediscover life. Take care.